Okay, well, I'm doing a fun little short video about Mercury because Mercury will be coming up on the 31st of May this year. We'll be going into its own sign, Gemini. So that's in 2026. It doesn't matter anyway. This video is just about basically Mercury and its essence. So for a long time, I've always said that the era that we are in, even though we're literally going into Satya Yuga soon. But basically, in Kali Yuga, it has been a very mercurial time in the sense that we've had, I can just see it as like, I would need my glasses though. So, but basically, we've had the internet, email, social media. More and more people are using smartphones, and so it's been like a period of time where people have have had more access to information, and as a result we have become do I even want to say information rich? It's not really information as it is. A lot of it is junk really, so it takes up a lot of our time, a lot of our energy, where all of us are scrolling, and you even see mothers now crossing the road with a pushchair with a baby in it, and actually still on their mobile phones. It's crazy times. But I always saw Rahu and Mercury as the most important planets of the world we are living in at this moment. When we go forward more and more as we're ascending, we will go back to for Jupiter and Ketu becoming the really star planets that we will be heading towards, because all the surface stuff will be there'll be less and less of it going forward, and because we will be expanding, awareness and consciousness is becoming quite strong on our planet, because planet is ascending. We're going towards a great awakening. There's a lot of disclosure about a lot of things that has been hidden from us for a very, very long time. And all of that is, unless if people are just sticking to mainstream media and nothing else. But there's so much information now that has been for many, many decades, maybe centuries even, kept from us. So excuse me a second whilst I do this. So apologies for that. So basically, there is just so much light now on our planet that the darkness and the demons just can't hide anymore. People just are becoming aware of such awful things that there's just no place to hide. And because the consciousness is going up, people are just not really believing in the I don't know what to call it, the stuff that actually we hear on the TV. People have got better discernment now, and they don't really think that. Not many people really believe in politicians and politics and all of that, and all those big businesses as such. So, and it is kind of interesting because Mercury is the planet of being busy. So, in a sense, what their powers to be have done have kept us busyness rather than business. It's really business. So you're so busy just trying to make your payments on your, like having a roof over your head, feeding your tummy, looking after your family, etc., that you're not really seeing the big picture. So yeah, it's been a very interesting time. So, but really, essentially, humanity is, we are our own computers. We are quantum computers of the highest quality. There's literally, as we're going through this period, you're going to be amazed of the things that you're going to learn that humans can do for themselves. And yet, because they've made us run after money, again, all these Mercury things, gossip, Hollywood, celebrities, that word celebrities, which means nothing really, because most of these people are controlled by handlers. They're not really what we think they are. And they sell us this amazing life that they have, but at a really high price. Like there's even things being said, like they say it out now to say that they've sold their soul. So, what price is our worth? So basically, anyway, so we have this amazing humanity is made of these amazing quantum computers which can tap into anything. We are literally multidimensional beings. There's nothing that we can't do. But what it is, because our minds have been manipulated and limited, we think that is all we're going to get. So this is one of the reasons why I want to do astrology in completely different ways, because you have to understand that where you your, I mean, I do get some messages and comments and people asking how their life is going to be, and I really understand that when people are caught up in very, very difficult situations, and it's really difficult to see the wood for the trees, if you like. I'm definitely not saying that, you know, that doesn't exist. It does, and in some parts of the world is really plentiful in that decline of quality of life. So I fully get it. However, it really is, you, as we literally stepping more closer and closer to the Satya Yoga. I keep calling it yoga, and also the age of Aquarius, and the consciousness is just expanding so much. It's really hard to pull wool over our eyes now, because we have that awareness. And actually what we have done through internet, even though there was going to be to control us and make us buy all these things that we don't necessarily need, so we have to work harder to have, you know, all of that kind of stuff. But what has actually happened is people have connected more, and so there is a connecting, should I say, consciousness that goes on. And once people kind of start, one light switches on, another light switches on, and people have got these moments of actually thinking, oh, actually, no, don't buy that. That's discernment, it becomes very much the key. And so you can see that very much like, well, like shopping malls used to be the thing. So you work really, really hard, and then you have to have your so-called retail therapy. And so you know, all those things. And then we've had the birth of the no end of coffee shops, and now then we had all these mega cinemas. And but look at all of that, everything is in decline now, because people realize that that has all been just to keep us busy, mercurial things. So basically we are the governors or the bosses of our own life. So actually, if you want to say, we are directors or programmers of our own life and destiny. So whatever we feed ourselves, whether it's like a video watching, I don't know, some sort of celebrity, I don't even know their names anymore because there's just so little interest in their lives. And so basically, yeah, so you feed yourself what you feel you're worth, really. And this is the whole purpose of this, really. And my purpose in all of this is with astrology is that, you know, when I first started doing astrology, especially Vedic astrology, it was just so, oh my gosh, you kind of look at it and think, I am doomed. Oh my God, look at this. But then as I've been through this consciousness and groups that I've met last 6 years, it's been amazing, the things that I've learned. So I'm very happy to share all those with you. So those of you who feel that you would like to approach your life with completely different mindset, I am happy to, once you email me, and I will put like a little short sort of Zoom sessions, really affordable prices, and I can teach you some astrology. Very basic astrology, enough to just make you just kind of think, oh, I want to take control of my life, and I'm not going to put up with all this nonsense that you can't have this, you can't that. In life, you can have everything, maybe not all at the same time, but you just got to do the work, and you have to just really believe in yourself and really love yourself. And I will teach those in those, you know, I'm hoping that I can do like a few Zooms, and I'm just going to see what people say. You know, those of you who are interested, if you let me know, and maybe we just think about doing something like that. I will also need maybe one person to volunteer to just like work with me to co-host Zoom or whatever it is. You know, I'm not very savvy on all these things, I have to say, so I will need help and support from someone. But you know, it's like we are humanity, we are one. if I can teach somebody some of the lovely things that I've learned along the way, this especially last 6 years, I'd say that has been amazing. So, okay, let's go back to Mercury. So Mercury is the youngest planet of the zodiac. So it's a child, it's a baby, it's an adolescent, it's quite naive. As a result, it's very fickle. So it can change with the wind. You know, 1 minute they want to be friends with these people, then these people, you know, they go with the flow of how they feel, kind of thing. So whatever happens in all of our charts, whenever Mercury is strong, then we actually all have that strength within us. So anyway, one of the very important things is that it rules greenery, herbs, vegetables, parks, and color green Wednesdays. And so this video is going to go out tomorrow, hopefully, and that's a Wednesday. So hence the reason I'm just like honoring the planet. And it just is about so many things. So internet, films, pizzas, you know, fast food is ruled by Mercury. And stock exchange, money, currency, travel, short distance particularly, and any form of kind of like days out, picnics, being with friends, being with siblings, colleagues, neighbours, aunts, uncles, they're all ruled by and young people. It's also a teacher, and it is probably a teacher of younger people, if you like, rather than like going like university and beyond. And so it is it's how we communicate, how we learn, how we think. All of those sort of things are to do with this planet. Social media, you know, any form of internet selling, anything. There's so many things that are actually to do with, and also computers, technology, especially with Rahu. And I would say Rahu would be like the nakshatra, the 1320 within the sort of kind of middle of Gemini. Sidereal Gemini is very much to do with technology. And also so is Aquarius as well. That's very technological as well. And obviously, you know, right now, we have in the skies, we have Rahu, North Node is actually in Aquarius. So there's a lot of new innovations that have been coming along. Have been, you know, they will be slowly. There's loads of modalities that are coming out now. A lot of things that we had no access to because they're sort of like the people who run the world, or they think they run the world and run us. They didn't want us to know all these ancient ways, like, you know, herbal ways of looking after yourself. All of those things are stuff that is to do with Mercury. So you can literally do so much. I mean, there's all these modalities coming out soon, and we're gonna just have so much information. So Rahu from those aspect in Gemini anyway. So we know that there's going to be all these things happening, and you know, so there could be like all that cryptocurrencies, stable coins, all of those are also to do with Mercury. And so we are also what Mercury does. Mercury rules major things in our body too. Rules the skin. And this is why it can be a little bit shallow, because this was as deep as skin, they say, you know, so it's got no substance in that case. But I'm just going to just say that, like, for example, so you can actually, it also finds information really well because it's very good at finding detail, going and managing yourself daily, you know, all of those things are very mercurial things. So taking steps to find information to glowing skin, healthy skin, and if you've got acne, you can find the information how to cut out sugar, because basically any form of, most diseases are to do with couple of things. Literally, when you go back and have a look, read about these ancient things, a lot of diseases that we have now, they didn't exist because they did annually. They did either 2-3 times a year or once a year. Everybody used to do a really good detox, and that would be like get rid of all the mold and parasitic things in your body. Everybody used to do it, but now they say, oh, you only get that in third world countries. But all I would say is we are in that period of Mercury. You can find any information. And I have done this, and I just think, oh my gosh, it's incredible how you feel. You got to do it properly, though. So basically, cutting out sugar, and then they sell us low sugar stuff or sugar free. Well, what is the point of replacing something that's natural with something that's chemical? Your body is still having a sugar fix. And also it's really hard for your body to process things that are not food and they're synthetic stuff. So it's really important to just bear that in mind. So, and intermittent fasting and good proteins, all of those kind of things, cutting out junk. If you fill your body up with junk, it is just going to glow. Is it going to glow? Of course it's not, because your body knows it's not really nourishment. So actually, people who eat a lot of junk food, they're always constantly hungry because they're not feeding themselves. They're feeding the parasites in their body. And so it's very, very important to bear that in mind. Your skin is how you present yourself to the world. And so you want it to be glowing. You have like nice filtered water, nice green, foods, chlorophylls and things, clean proteins. That's what you want, not Kentucky Fried Chicken, proper, good quality steaks or chicken or whatever if you're a meat eater. Now also it rules friends. So, and to have really good friends, hopefully if you got those of you who have got really good sort of Mercury in your chart, or you have help from Venus, which is Mercury's best friend. Although Mercury is also friendly with the Sun, but also friendly kind of with Saturn. Saturn is not really friendly to anyone. It's like it's a heavy planet. So whatever you feel is just going to make it. I mean, I know they say to you in Vedic astrology, oh, it is. And it is. It gives you that kind of like grounds you. It's that kind of planet. But how much suffering can somebody have? So anyway, don't want to be controversial, so let's walk on. So, but basically, with friends, so rules friends basically. So less gossiping, being more authentic, having people's back. If they're your friends, you kind of stand by them through thick and thin. I know some friends. None of us need loads of friends. Just having 2 or 3 really good friends is quite a job, with family work and running yourself, managing yourself in your life and your home. So it's really important to have, good friends and having their back. So really, you got to watch it when it's not really in good condition. Mercury, when it is in enemy friends and enemy signs like Scorpio, where it can actually can be a bit sticky when it comes to friends. So you also got to look at it, how you want people to be with you. Do you want them to be nice to you, not talk behind your back, all that kind of stuff? Ultimately, we give to the world what we want to receive. If we are authentic and honest and humble, we get that back. But if we are constantly digging dirt on somebody or wanting to just make life miserable for the others, that will come back to us. It is just basically we in life mirror, everything comes back to us. So and Mercury also likes to be active. That is the best way to deal with Mercury. So I can be quite mercurial myself. I don't really like sitting down at the desk all day long because it makes me very stagnant in my energy. I like to stand up every now and then, stretch. I do well to exercise. I do well to socialize, go, move, walk places rather than get in the car. All those kind of things really suits my lifestyle more. The more I move, the better it is for my body, energy, and also Mercury is very sociable, so I also like, be around people, but I'm also kind of don't really like too many people to be very close to my life. I think I've just got my family and a couple of really good friends, and I'm okay with them being, in my life more. But I know loads of people, but I don't need to have them in my life. That is, if I was to do that, that's not the authentic me, really. But if they had any issues, I'd be very happy to put time aside for them. I'm sorry about the glare going on with my glasses. The other thing that it also rules is speech. So, by persons talking how, either their second houses or second house rule or Mercury, or the three of them together. So basically any kind of aspects or anything like that will signify what's going on. So people who have got stutters, they get quite high coloured, get embarrassed easily. That's all to do with Mercury. And I would say, because also Mercury is copying, so it can do accents really well, it could do comedy really well, that kind of thing. Sorry, this is lagging. I'm just going to have a quick look, see what's going on. No, it seems to be working. Okay, so basically, anybody who has any issues like that, or if you have problems expressing yourself to anyone, whether it's your boss, partner, friend, or whatever is going on, I just say sit in front of a mirror and actually do a copy. Write. Always make sure words are swords if you look at them. So you want to make sure that you don't hurt anybody with your words, because it only comes back to you. So you want to use words that are beautifully express how you feel, but also allowing the person, so you don't need to just talk. You express yourself with love and compassion to somebody else, somebody who's maybe you need to express yourself to, and let them really sit with that information. Don't just try to sort of like backtrack. Let them really feel how you are feeling. And just, once you said, then just say, I just wanted to express how I'm feeling, how that, when you did this is how I felt. So I just thought I'd let you know, and just leave it with them. Let them sit with that information and let them digest it. And so that's another thing that is important. So keep doing these things in front of the mirror until you become confident about doing that. So the other thing that it does as well, its digestive system is ruled also by Mercury. So it's very important to be able to digest life, generally speaking. And that is literally a 6th house thing. So it's obviously Virgo, but Mercury, and also wherever your 6th house is, depending on the house that rules your 6th house. Like, for example, for Aquarius will be Cancer. So you've got to look at Moon and Mercury. So, but it's very important, so it's, important not to be walking and eating, and it's really good to just be more Venus-like, where Venus likes to sit down and doesn't want to have a little bit here, a little bit there, just wants to respect themselves, sit down and eat their food properly, and be in the moment, if you like. Whereas Mercury can be a little bit like, what's everybody else doing kind of thing, because it's nosy. It's a kid, isn't it? So, oh goodness, it's getting dark here now. So yeah, so digesting life. So it's very important to eat well, and eating well will reflect on your central nervous system, on your skin, on how you are generally, because if you are eating on the run and you're always like on coffees and, and diet drinks, this and that, the other, and that is what your body's not getting the nourishment. So you just feel as though you're kind of always a little bit like out of sorts with yourself even. So, oh my goodness, it is getting really dark here now. So, nervous system, central nervous system is another thing which is ruled by Mercury as well. So, Mercury is basically young, and so basically it hasn't got a lot of, it's immature. And so remember, all of these things within us get better as we get older. And so it can obviously, through not really thinking or overthinking as well, it can actually get itself into a lot of trouble. So it's, you know, because he wants to be friendly with everyone, you know, and but that can also, it can also, if there's a little bit of gossip, they could be involved in that, get themselves into trouble, and then what happens is like they get themselves into a bit of a tizzy, and that plays havoc with their nervous system, so they can't sleep. They just get like eczema and all of those things that comes out with stress, basically. And so it's, and they can get cornered by that, and actually makes it difficult people then to actually trust them. So, and obviously trust, you know, is a massive thing. We all know that. So that can create enemies, you know, because that's why it rules the third and sixth house of natural zodiac, because actually their friends can become their enemies, or they can make their friends enemies, so it can go both ways. And all of those things can give like really bad sleepless nights and ailments as such. So they can also be quite critical of others, especially with Virgo. Sixth house can be like that. And you know, somebody's too fat, too short, too thin, you know, all that. So they could be, it's basically their own insecurities, and they're projecting it onto others, and these will create with it, you know, in life you never get away with anything. Karma comes and gets you in the end anyway, so it can create health issues. And Mercury has works hard, gains people's trust. You know, really you have to work with that to gain people's trust. And it is because obviously it's fickle and shallow, and can go from one idea to another, you know. So they could just like, those people who are into fads, like for example, for 1 minute, you know, like square nails are the fashion, then the long and thin sort of, you know, they just literally, they can be a little bit faddy. So that's how I would describe Mercury, because Mercury is, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but you know, so they're much more into fads if it's afflicted. So best way to do a constructive thing is to actually have, because they like being busy, make sure you always exercise, you always stretch, make sure you do constructive things like learning new skills. For them, learning like whether it's putting shelves up, or creative writing, dancing, learning musical instruments, doing like I don't know, say a travel YouTube channel, anything like that, because they're really good. They can make things fun, you know, they are fun people. And music, dancing, theatre, exercise, they're just literally multi-talented. And so these are all the things that I thought I'd just sort of like say. So basically, it's a really good time also because Mercury is obviously going to be quite strong. So it's a really good time to plan. Make sure you plan things during this time. And also because both Mercury and Venus are strong. So it's a really good time to, you see the big picture and also the detail. It's a really good time to plan, put strategies in place, and give yourself goals, short-term goals to achieve, and be flexible so things can change. But it's you know, really make the most of it, because it's going to be with Venus, and then obviously Venus gives refinement, panache, gives a class, you know, gives Mercury class, and they just, the two of them together, if you've got those in your chart, wow, you're so lucky. Venus in Mercury sign, Mercury and Venus signs are all together, is just beautiful. And obviously we all have it, you know, once Mercury goes into Gemini, we'll all have it for a little while. So make the most of it. If you want to make plans, it's a really nice time. If you want to, you know, like bring some love, joy, friendships, and travel, and all that kind of things in your life, why not actually make the most of that? That is such a lovely time. So let me know if you want me to do courses, and maybe I'll do a little short video just like this for maybe Jupiter as well, because Jupiter is quite strong too. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. See you soon.